Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakudash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that taught us His truth and that's what teaching His truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect, beginning with 144,000 all the way down to the large multitude that believes and who the Lord will deliver in these last days. To you all I say Shalom. I'm the brother Tazamah from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back today with another lesson. And I pray this lesson will be edifying to the elect. And I found this article interesting here. This is from the People's Voice.tv. All right, and the article title reads, it says, U.S. Army swears in Palantir execs as lieutenant. Excuse me, let me read this again. U.S. Army swears in Palantir execs as lieutenant colonels, a rank that typically takes decades to earn. All right, so now you have, individuals like Elon Musk, which was once in Trump's cabinet. He was the head of DOGE, which was the Department of Governmental Efficiency. And now you have, the co-founder of Palantir, Alex Karp, which that's what his name is, Alex Karp, who was sworn in as a lieutenant colonel for the United States military. Now, this should prompt you to ask a question as to why is it that this individual who is a technocrat, why is he sworn in? All right, why is he sworn in as a lieutenant colonel? You see, if that's, and this guy's he's in the tech field. Now, what's a technocrat? All right, let's get the definition of a technocrat. Or we'll also get the word technocracy as well if it's on here. So we'll do technocrat. All right. Now, what is a technocrat? It says 1932, back formation from technocracy. All right. So technocrat comes from the word technocracy, right? Technocracy. It says control of society or the economy by technical experts. And these, mind you, you didn't vote. You American people didn't vote for these individuals. These are individuals that you didn't have to put no vote in for them. They just got placed into office. They got placed into positions, right? And then that word technocracy breaks down into technocracy, which cracy is the rule of, like you have a theocracy, which is the rule, the rule of God, through the means of mediators, through the means of priests as mediators, right? But now you have a technocracy, right? Which techno goes into what? Art, craft, skill. Later, technical, technology, from Greek techno, combining form of techne. It says art, skill, craftsmanship, craft and work. And what's the ultimate craft? All right, that they want to. What's the ultimate craft that they want to do? They want to put a microchip inside of you, man. You see, and they have, and Donald Trump and these Donald Trump and these particular quote unquote leaders are the perfect people set in place, all right, to implement this MOTB system, as the scripture says. All right, the scripture says that we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, let's get 2 Corinthians 2:11. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You see that? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We're not ignorant of his evil plans and his evil schemes. You see, because Palantir is nothing more than, a military, really it's weaponry that the military is using to have mass surveillance of people, man. That has the ability to, Palan means afar, afar or far off, and tier means to see afar off is pretty much what Palantir means. And that's ultimately what they want to do whenever they have this RFID microchip inside of you, They could pretty much have it to whereas anybody they could pretty much get someone, for lack of better words, before they even do a crime. Before they even do a crime, they could lock you up. And it's like it's pretty much like thought police. But this individual is a lieutenant colonel in the military. Okay, because ultimately, man, they're about to wage war. Okay, they're about to wage war on you American citizens, man. That's what's getting ready to happen next. Okay? It says the U.S. Army announced on June 13th the swearing in of 4 Silicon Valley executives from Meta, Palantir, and OpenAI as lieutenant colonels. Okay? Now, Meta was once known as Facebook, and Meta, all right, goes into the Greek word metapon. You know, I rather say you get the Greek word metapon, I rather say, which means forehead. And Palantir, which we broke that word Palantir down in OpenAI as lieutenant colonels. And these are what? These are individuals who are in the technical field. You see, technocrats is who these individuals are. Why are they in top positions in the military? You see, it says a rank that typically requires nearly 2 decades of military service to achieve. Why is this the case? Because they're getting the people put in position, all right, to implement this MOTB, which is going to be implemented through force. This is Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." You see? So this devil, you know, these devils, I'd rather say, Esau, they're getting pretty much set in position, are to wage war on the average everyday American, man. You see, you got war popping off in the Middle East, you know, and this could be the perfect caveat, if you will, with this war in the Middle East to usher in this MOTB system. You see? It says the executives, all of whom are affiliated with powerful and controversial big tech firms, will serve part-time in the Army Reserve as senior advisors under a new initiative called Detachment 201, the Army's Executive Innovation Corps. You see, this is a whole new corp, or rather say, for lack of better words, a position, you know, within the military. You see, it says, according to the Army's own language, the goal is to fuse cutting edge tech expertise with military innovation. Let's read that again. Fuse cutting edge tech expertise with military innovation. So why do they have to add the military with technology? You see, why is that the case? You see, because once again, this is the next phase. This is the next step. Okay. It says helping to guide rapid and scalable tech solutions to complex problems. The program is directly linked to the Army Transformation Initiative, which seeks to make the military leaner, smarter, and more lethal. Leaner, smarter, and more lethal. More lethal to who? Shit, more lethal to you. That's what their goal, that's what their plan is. The scripture says in Ezekiel 21 that it says that a sword is being sharpened, and it is also furbished to be what? To be placed into the hand of the slayer. And who is that slayer? Esau, Edom, man. Okay. How do you think they have the high level technology, you know, to go about and go about bombing people over there in Gaza, you know, or where these particular places where civil unrest happens, they can just quell it immediately because they got surveillance already set up. I'm talking about, and Palantir is high level surveillance, man. It says, but critics are sounding the alarm, warning that this unprecedented blurring of lines between private tech monopolies and the military risks further consolidating unaccountable power at the highest levels of government. You see that? They getting ready to push for martial law here very soon. It says, with big tech already wielding immense influence over public discourse, surveillance, and data infrastructure, their formal integration into military command structures raises serious ethical and democratic concerns. They're mixing tech with the military. The 4 newly minted Army Reserve Lieutenant Colonels are Shyam Sankar, Chief Technology Officer at Palantir, right? Andrew Bosworth, Chief Technology Officer at Meta. Kevin Weil, Chief Product Officer at OpenAI. Bob McGrew, Advisor at Thinking Machines Lab and former Chief Research Officer at OpenAI. See, now they're mixing AI with the military, which is going to be, it's pretty much going to make it easier to track down those who could be dissident. Those who could be quote unquote going against the system. Their appointments are more than symbolic. They represent a deeper shift toward embedding tech industry leadership directly into U.S. military operations without the public debate or oversight such a transformation arguably demands. You see, the people didn't vote for this. You see, they had nothing to do. You average everyday Americans had nothing to do with these decisions that are being made. You see, this is Revelation 13 and 11. And he had two horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon, man. Revelation 13 and 11, and it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. You see, in one tongue they could be telling you peace and safety, that this is going to make lives of the American people better and more secure and more safer. But here it is on the back end. He's coming with these draconian laws, which, like I said, they're mixing the tech industry with the military, man. So what's that mean? That means that you're going to be even heavier. You're going to be even heavier. I'm a little sleepy, man. Salaki, I can't really, my speech is bereating me a little bit. Bereath me, right? I'm just a little tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep, so Salaki if I'm stumbling over my words. But they're going to be heavily monitoring these AI systems, whether it be ChatGPT, whether it be Gronk, which they're already monitoring it, but it's just going to be monitored even more. Particular talking points that you're looking up on Gronk and AI, OpenAI, and ChatGPT is no longer going to be accessible. You see, so certain things that you're looking at is going to be monitored, and you could be a target. You see, but it's, once again, they give you the smooth words, but behind it, is swords, man. His words were softer than oil, smoother than oil, but war was in his heart. That's what that's all about. You see, it says the implications are especially troubling given Palantir CEO Alex Karp's open advocacy for U.S. military aggression. You see, and this man Alex Karp is pretty much he's pretty much a madman. He's pretty much a madman that's infatuated with death. He's infatuated with killing. And that lines right up with Revelation, the 6th chapter, how he beheld a red horse and the great sword was given unto him, man. Not saying that Alex Karp is a red horse. I'm just saying just Esau just in general. Right? It says Karp is on record calling for a three-front war against Russia, China, and Iran. You see that? It says a position that under normal circumstances might be viewed as dangerously provocative. Because ultimately that's what it's going to lead to. All this that we see going on right now, this whole issue in the Middle East between Iran and Israel and the United States and Russia getting involved and China getting involved, all these various different nations getting involved, it's all going to lead to the grand scheme of things. It's all going to lead to an all-out war, which will be nuclear. It says now, with this company's top executive being commissioned into the U.S. military structure, the entanglement of corporate ideology and national security strategy becomes harder to ignore. While the Army pitches DET 201 as a way to inspire more tech pros to serve without leaving their careers, the reality may be far more complex. This initiative could signal a deeper integration of corporate technocrats, like we got the definition earlier, right, into government power structures. A move that risks sidelining civilian oversight, constructing decision-making among unelected elites. See that? So you're not gonna have no say so in these decisions that are being made. And escalating the militarization of the tech sector. You see? And that's ultimately the plan, man. So we'll keep our eyes on this, because this is interesting, man. You know, these technocrats being placed in positions within the military, man. That should make you question if your spiritual eyes are open. All right, so with that, I pray this was edifying to the elect. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone, and taught us his truth, and also teaching his truth. Much peace, love, and salutation to the elect. Until next time, I say shalom.